All right, there we are. Almost late, but not quite. Hey, don't go behind me. I need to sit there. Come here. Yeah, well, right here, Dan. Come on. Oh, you're a pain. That's a cat. One, go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Stacy says hi. Zuza does not say hi because she's being grumpy. Because she wanted to play right there behind me, which is not convenient for me. Well, I'm in a better mood than I was yesterday. Yesterday I just wasn't. It was a good day. Just, sometimes you have days where they're not great. My tooth was bothering me more than it has been. Looking forward to going to the dentist on Monday, which is a weird thing to say, but it's not going to get better on its own, that's for sure. But what I'm really enjoying this morning, looking outside, the landscaper was here yesterday and mowed, and because he only comes every couple weeks, the initial growth in June and even in May, it gets so long. So it takes weeks, takes several cuts for it to, all the grass clippings to kind of get turned back in, because he only does every other week, which is by request. It's better for the health of the lawn. And it looks good. It looks really good. It's supposed to be a nice weekend, and I ordered one of those pole chainsaw thingies. So I got some trees I got to trim, and we're just gonna keep working on it. It's my home, and I like being here. And I'm looking forward to being here again this weekend. It's gonna be a hot weekend. 92 on Saturday, something like that for us, which is not a lot of 90-degree days this summer. And I'm sure we're not done, because August always has a bunch of them. Well, what's going on today? Well, it's Thursday, so there's an episode out. What episode's out today? I don't remember. We have had so much good content coming out on Thursdays on the podcast feed. It really blows me away. I'm really proud of the stuff that we've been doing. Oh, there's the crow. Crows are so annoying. Come on, tablet. Wake up. Can you hear that? I don't know why crows have to be so annoying. They probably have the most annoying sound of any animal. At least that we have around here. They're they're the roosters of the wild world, but they don't have a watch. Roosters at least crow at roughly the same time. Creating habits. Did an entire episode on creating habits. This was something that Stacy, I'll read that in a second. This is something that I've had some feedback on. How do I create a habit? How do I get dialed in on something? How do I make progress? So we talked about it. How do you create a habit? There's a lot of strategies. I mean, not a lot of strategies. There are some strategies. There are some things that you can do that aren't terribly complex. They require a little bit of effort, and over time, that little bit of effort appears to be less effort. Stacy wrote in crow vid. Oh, should we rename this to pun, joke and pun video? Not radio. It's not a radio show. I'm liking the pour over. Here, if you want to see it. This is the pour over. This thing. It takes a long time. It takes forever to pour through. Which is okay. But it's another minute or two that I need to be aware of. in my morning routine. I like it. There's less sludge at the bottom. That's a good thing. It's tasty. I like the tasty coffee. I have a little bit of a sore throat, I think. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with what's going on. Just my whole face, my mouth. It's weird to me that somebody's driving up there at 6:35 in the morning. Well, what else happened yesterday? Coach CrossFit, that went well. You know what I did last night that was really enjoyable? A few years ago, at a friend's wedding. I will be simple about it. And I was asked to transport an older woman who doesn't drive, who lives near me. This wedding was in Burlington. I live in Montpelier. Older woman lives in Montpelier. Would I be willing to drive her to and from? Sure, happy to. And ended up with, I think, 3 trips. It was a whole weekend of wedding and such. And I got to know her a little bit. And she told the best stories. Well, she turned 90 last week, and we've been emailing and threatening to catch up. And we did. And last night we spent an hour and a half on the phone, mostly her talking. You know, I asked her some questions, some of her thoughts about things, because she's 90, she's been around. And if there's one thing that I don't understand about our culture, it's that we don't value the opinions of older people. They've seen stuff. Maybe they don't understand everything about the way the world works now, but with the exception of some changes in technology, the world hasn't changed that much. People are still the same. People haven't changed that much. So I enjoy asking older people questions. And we talked about some good stuff. We talked about some bad stuff. We talked about where things might be headed. And it was a really nice conversation. And I came away from it really thankful that I'd had that opportunity. And I'm sure I'll talk to her again. She's in incredible health. She walks miles every day. Just a real healthy person. And was running marathons into her 50s, 60s. I don't know. Crazy, but in that good way. You know, she's a good person. And it was a nice way to end the day. Now, what's going on today? Today, I have the opportunity finally to sit down at my desk. I should be able to finish the draft of the fight conditioning program. And in doing so, I should, knock on wood, be able to launch that. I'm hoping I can launch that today. It's rough, you know, aesthetically, but the content's all there. We'll see. I'm excited for this one. I think this one will do something. And once that's up, once I finish the strength and speed hybrid, then the next step is to put some polish on them, to do some video advertising for them, to really kind of lean into it. There are a few things I can think of that we can do, that we will do, with some landing pages and split testing and all this fancy nerdy stuff that I do for my clients that I don't really do for whistlekick, because the shoemaker's children go barefoot. You know, that whole thing. And then later on, have a call with one of my martial arts school owner clients, and then have dinner with a couple clients this evening. Look at me sounding all fancy. I would call 2 of the 3 clients friends. Friend client, I've tried to hybridize that word and it hasn't worked. Friant, clend, doesn't work. It doesn't work. Zuza. Weather's really nice. It's cool. It's a good breeze. This Does particular weather remind you of things? Waking up and it being cool with a breeze reminds me of camping. Reminds me of waking up in a tent, being outside, feeling a little bit chilly, putting on some sweatpants, having some coffee, and doing that kind of huddle thing. You know that thing with your coffee as you come out of the tent? I haven't been camping truly camping. I haven't been camping in a very long time. I've put up a tent and slept in it in people's backyards, but that's not camping. I mean camping. Let's see what you all wrote in. What do I have to talk about from you crazy people today? Oh, here we go. We got 5 quotes today from Frank. Thank you to Frank. First one. This is someone that I like and respect the heck out of. And someone who I think will get on the show someday. Humility is the first rule of martial arts. Either you learn humility quickly or you leave because your ego can't handle losing repeatedly. George St-Pierre. Now, the reason I say that I see him coming on the show someday is he doesn't live that far away. It's 3 hours away. We have several mutual friends, mutual acquaintances. I'm 1 degree of separation from George St-Pierre. And I think it'll happen someday. Now this quote, humility is the first rule of martial arts. Either you learn humility quickly or you leave because your ego can't handle losing repeatedly. So I'm going to make a small adjustment to that. Humility is an important rule of martial arts. I don't think it's the first rule. I think the first rule is about showing up and working hard and, well, I was about to say suspending ego. I guess I do agree. This is why we talk this stuff out. Humility isn't something that everyone comes by easily, and unfortunately, it's something that some instructors do not foster always in their students. I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. There was a recent testing, martial arts testing, where there was a kid testing for his black belt, really feeling his oats, and because I'm not there often, sees himself as kind of king of the school. I think he's 16, he was 16, 17 at the time. And I will always show up to test. Pretty much any school that asks me to be there for testing, I will do my best to be there because I know how important they are. And I know how important the ability to have an event like I'm about to tell you is, and not everyone has the experience to know where these lines are. And so this is the instructor's a man I've known for a long time. He's one of my instructors. I love him dearly. And as it's coming to the end of the testing and it's sparring time, he comes up to me and says, I need you to hurt him a little. Now, anybody who hasn't been through a black belt testing and hasn't been on the other side of this might think that that's a negative thing. It's not. And even if he hadn't said a little, I would have known that that's what he meant. It was time to push him a little bit, this kid, and to bring him down a peg. to make him remember that, no, not that I'm better than him, but that others are better than him. And I'll probably always remember this, because in the last moment before I was asked to step in, this light bulb moment came on. And I literally charged him. I ran at him. I sprinted from across the room, jump kicked him, not hard, but he didn't know what to do. He stood there. I kicked, I think he covered up, landed, and I put him in a reverse headlock and very gently rolled him back and almost got my leg hook in. And he was upset. You could tell he was upset. The room could tell he was upset. And he didn't understand why. I believe in time he will. And just to tie up this story, the most important part is that his father came over to me afterwards and thanked me, because he knew why it had to happen. His father's had a black belt for a little while. Sometimes when humility doesn't come organically, you have to instill it. And there's a right dose. It's like a medicine. You give the right dose, and it's beneficial. But I will never forget the look on his face after landing that kick and going, huh, what just happened? Self-defense, self-confidence, discipline, and self-control. The values you learn are priceless. Rickson Gracie. And I assume this is a general response to, what do you learn in martial arts? Self-defense, yes. Self-confidence, yes. Discipline and self-control. Yeah. With the exception of self-defense, these are things that you utilize every day. Every day. If you don't have them, you're not going anywhere. The better you're skilled with discipline, etc., the further you're going to go. One of my dreams for Whistlekick is that we grow enough that we can have a data and survey person or division. Because I believe if we were to look at the things that are most important to people, let's say it was financial success. I believe that if we were to take a hard look at money and people's incomes, I believe that we would find a small, not huge, but a small correlation between martial arts training and increased financial success. Why? Because earning financial success requires some discipline. Does that mean every millionaire in the US is going to have done martial arts? No. But I think we'd see enough of a correlation that we could say, yes, this is help. And I think we would see the same thing for pretty much every positive attribute. Bottom line, I think that if we were to slice the world into people who have trained and people who have not trained, we would see that the people who have trained do better, and we would see some correlation between additional more training bringing you more success. What are you doing? You're being weird. She's being weird. She's trying to put her head, there's a kind of a armrest in the middle here that I put down. She's sticking her head under there. Cleanse your body and soul, removing malice, selfishness, and desire. Morihei Ueshiba, sensei. Cleanse your body and soul, removing malice, selfishness, and desire. This is an interesting one because it makes me think more of being a monk or kind of Buddhist philosophy than anything else. But what if we apply this to training? What if we think about it in this way? So if you go into training, cleansing your body and soul, I guess literally for your body, but more figuratively, removing malice, don't go into training angry. Don't be selfish. I did an episode, and this was an important epiphany for me, on martial arts as service. The idea that if you go to class and you think of it as you're there for others instead of for yourself, it becomes it changes things quite a bit. So if you go into your training not thinking about what you'll get out of it, but how you can help others, yeah, you're still going to benefit. But if the priority is others, that's a big deal. And desire. Just take what's there. Accept what you're given. Accept that there's a path that you are on, and your instructors are guiding you, and they have a plan. Martial arts is not about fighting. It's about building character. Robert Foster Bennett. I don't know who that is, but I agree. I'm trying to think if there's anything more to say on that. I've talked about this one a lot. It's not about fighting. It's about building character. Personal development. What's my definition? Martial arts is personal development through from the perspective or through the lens of hand-to-hand combat. It could be anything else. It could be a super disciplined dance program. You're gonna lay down? You're just gonna sit there and turn. I got you. Got your head. Cat. Everybody likes to see the cat. We should just put the cat on screen, and I can do the voiceover. What would you think about that? Last one today. To be a champion takes will and skill, but the will must always be stronger than the skill. Muhammad Ali. And there's someone who knows what he's talking about. The will must always be stronger than the skill. Why? Because skill will take you further up in whatever it is, right? As your skill advances, you fight. If we take the example of boxing, you fight better and better boxers. But if you want to beat them, you have to have the will. So as your skill increases, your will has to increase. It makes perfect sense to me. So when we approach our day, our career, our relationships, your will to succeed with them has to exceed your skill with them. You have to want more. You have to want to get better. You have to want to improve wherever you are, or you'll stay where you are. Not only does the will have to exceed the skill, it has to lead the skill. You have to find ways to improve. You find ways to improve in martial arts, in your training. Good. I like that one. Good stuff today. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. And for those of you who don't know, Frank does a lot more than just make sure I have stuff to respond to every day. He does some behind-the-scenes stuff, and I really appreciate him. I appreciate you, Frank. Thank you. If you're not checking out the audio, if you don't download the audio, please download the audio. Just subscribe to the podcast for this show. That'd be helpful. Makes us tiny little bit of money. Tiny little bit. All right, I'm going to go. But before I go, I want to thank you for watching. Maybe you're listening later. I want to thank you for that. And I want to remind you, if you want to listen, if you want to ask me a question, there we go. If you want to submit something for me to respond to, the easiest way, drop it below in the comments and I will respond tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay! And we can do that. Now, if you want to support the work that we're doing here at Whistlekick from just all of it, there's a ton there. Go to whistlekick.com. If you're unfamiliar with all the things that we're doing, check that out. And the two best things you can do, you can subscribe. No, where are my words going today? You can make a purchase and use the code FIRSTCUP15 to save 15% off. And that includes the programs that are coming out and are already out. Or you could support the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. I've got to do a video, the monthly video / audio episode that goes out only to the subscribers. If you're a subscriber, you get more stuff. Okay. All right. So I will see you back here tomorrow, bright and early, 6:30 a.m. Eastern. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody. Peace.